everybody, and welcome back to my channel. We're going to be playing Gems of War, which is a RPG puzzle game. Everybody, and welcome back to my channel. We're going to be playing Gems of War, which is a RPG puzzle game. Everybody, and welcome. How's everybody doing today? Well, tonight, depending on the time zone that you're in. I'm doing pretty good myself. I'm a night owl, so this is right up my alley, streaming games for you guys late at night, well, early morning. So every day on Gems of War, I guess there's a daily reward login bonus, which is pretty cool. I've been playing this game, I would say, for a couple of weeks now, and it's a fun game to pass the time, honestly. It's pretty chill. This game is really free to play in the Steam store, so if you're interested in RPG type of puzzles, then this is the kind of game for you. So I would suggest go to Steam if you want to check it out and just download it. Okay, so the next quest is defeat the Fortress Guardians and start a fire. And this is the stats. My team 738 versus the enemy stats, which is 775. They have a little advantage over me, but I don't think it's gonna be too hard. Every now and then I do like to spend at least 50 golds to check my enemy stats just to see what I'm getting myself into. I mostly only do that with bosses because bosses are kind of hard. I mean, that's why they're called bosses. But if it's just general enemies that I just need to defeat on my way to the next boss, I don't normally do the scoutings. But I mean, it just depends. If you know what you're doing, you don't really need that. But if you're just beginning, I would say go ahead and scout so you can at least be prepared to see what kind of like strategy that you need to do to win. So generally, I like to start off with the priestess. I mean, like I said, normally throughout just fighting normal enemies on the way to the bosses, I just click and go. But for the sake of this gameplay, I'll show you exactly how I would prepare if it was a boss. But I generally like to match up my gems to get the protection of the priestess to buffer up my players on my team. Just so I can have more time attacking and have them last longer on my team without dying. because if you don't use protection on your teammates, you'll most likely lose faster. So yeah, that's where I start off with.
From harm.
I usually like to protect my strongest warrior and kind of work my way down the list. Mostly because with Prisoner Luther and Eleanor, I feel like they're more on the defensive side, which they destroyed. I would call these gems. I know they're not gems, but that's what I'm calling them. They destroy gems, which helps give your players more attack points. So that's generally, yeah, where I go with this. But I mean, it just depends on what you want to do for your team.
I want you bird.
So basically each player has, each person has a shield, and whenever those shields run out, when they start getting attacked, they have lives, and each player has a different amount of lives. And if the player reaches 0 on their hearts, then that player is out of the game for this round. So I really like to get my protection on at least 2 of my players to at least prolong the game a little bit. But if you can't, I would say at least protect your strongest player of the team. And it's really important to match up your skulls. Right now, I can't really match up any of my skulls, but it does more damage to your opponent. But you mostly want to make sure that you're keeping eye on skulls on your turns, because if your enemy hits the skulls, yeah, they'll do bad damage, critical damage. They can take out your players pretty quickly if you don't pay attention to the skulls. Okay, yeah, matching up that last skull really helped in the end. It took out the last enemy that I needed. We gathered the bodies and set light to the fire. Is done. May their souls find some peace at last. we'd had taken this fortress if our allies had played their part. The knights of Sword's Edge cursed their filthy hides. We were ready to charge the gate, and they opened fire on us. Okay, we're moving on to the next part of the map. The path looked to be getting steeper. What can we expect up ahead? I've not been this far before, but expect more Rhynacs. Up this far, I guess they're more nimble than they look. Maybe we gathered the bodies and set light to the fire. Maybe some hypograph their souls find maybe even at last stone giants. Taken this fortress if our allies had. Okay, we're moving on to stage 7. So once you complete the tutorial, basically, when you keep rolling ahead in the game, you'll have to check back periodically to see if you can have any upgrades to your weapons, or if you can level up any of your troops. And sometimes you have to read like the prerequisites on your team members that you're trying to level up, because sometimes you can't level them up unless certain team members are leveled up first. Yeah, like this one, it says to upgrade troops past level 5, your hero will need to be level 10 or higher.
Mana Surge.
And then another way of knowing if your player can unleash their ability is these numbers up here on the top left corner of your player. So basically each one has a different amount of numbers on their cards. The first one's 3 out of 8, the second one's 7 out of 9. So basically you would have to match up that many gems to fill up the gauge on the player's cards, and then whenever that is full, you'll be able to click on them and unleash their skills. Also, if you do get stuck in the puzzle, sometimes if you wait long enough, the game will give you an automatic hint. So it'll try to help you pick out which area that you can use to complete gems. So if you do get stuck, don't worry, the game will help you out.
bird.
Now, whenever you unleash your skills on your teammates, you can't really control which enemy they deal damage to, or whichever gems that they can destroy is pretty much just random and based on the game. The only thing that you can control is when you're using your priestess and choosing which one of your players you're wanting to protect. That is the only thing so far that you can control. Oh, that was a bad move. The strongest player. That was unexpected. Yeah, that was my mistake. I missed the skull. And like I said, you have to watch out for those because that can, yeah, missing that skull just caused me to end the game. Yeah, we're getting towards one of the bosses, so that's understandable on why that fight was actually a little difficult. We're gonna try this again, and hopefully we're gonna win this time.
From harm.
So right now, Eleanor and Luther's shields, they have this weird little crack in their shield, which means that they no longer have protection over them. So now any hits that they receive will go straight to their health. The little hearts right here that has the 12 and the 5 underneath them. So if I actually can get some protection casted on them, their shields will be replenished and they'll get to live a little bit longer in the game. I feel like Luther is probably the weakest of the team because all he can do is explode 2 to 4 gems. Which, I mean, it's okay if maybe Eleanor was dead and she wasn't on the team anymore, but he's last priority right now on saving. So right now I'm trying to keep the priestess, Eleanor, and Hilda still on the team to fight the last bit of the enemies. So if he has to be sacrificed, it's not the end of the world, just as long as I can protect my main fighter.
I will
There we go. We won that round. Yeah, you just have to pay attention to the skulls and at least protecting your main fighter. And that's your best bet in winning each round. Now, when it comes to actual bosses, you really have to pay attention. Oh, we leveled up. The final fortress was within sight. Do we need to get past this fortress too? Aye, what I seek is in the caves beyond. Caves? What lives there? Shegra, the lava worm. She has something I need. The third fortress blocked our path. We can't go through the gate this time. No, the fire has been lit. They'll know we're coming. And we can't go around it, under it, or through it. So we go over it. We'll need to catch some of those hypographs. You must get to the caves beyond the fortress. Unfortunately... Okay, guess it wasn't gonna let me read that. Okay, so this is when I mentioned earlier that scouting the enemy's stats would come in handy for bosses. So basically, this is what the team setup is like. So the first three are obviously going to be the same. And the last one is going to be a little bit different. It's immune to poison, disease, lycanthropy, and Deathmark. Gain bonus purple mana from purple gym matches. And then Pathfinder, gain 2.5, 3 miles in my journey event based on my ascensions. So their team score is about 1100 and mine is 757. We're going to see if that's a bad score. We're going to see if I can upgrade any of my players. If not, this is probably going to be a struggle. It's going to be a very struggle of a fight. Okay, so it seems that I'm not able to really do any upgrades at the moment, so we're going to try and see how this fight with the mini boss goes. But like I said, starting off with bosses, mini bosses, you want to start off with protecting your team members. So start off with trying to get the priestess all of her gems so you can protect one of your team members, which I suggest is the main fighter.
The light of good will shield us from harm.
not the priestess. Ooh. Nice. Okay, chat, that was just a little gameplay of Gems of War. Like I said, if you do want to try this game out, it is in the Steam store. So go ahead and check that out and download it. It is for free. And if you do want to follow any of my other gameplays in the upcoming week, go ahead and follow my page. I also have my Instagram linked in my biography on my Twitch page as well. My name is Flimsy Flimflackle, and thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!